Hello everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. It's Monday, a great day to be alive. Hope everybody had a good start to the week. I know I did. I got a little confused this morning. Somebody showed up at the house that usually comes on Tuesday. I got all confused, thought it was Tuesday, but that's just typical life in my world. Got a math shirt on for the math lovers today. If you don't know, Pi Day, National Pi Day will be on the 14th of March, so celebrate. It's an irrational but well-rounded number. Math geeks will get that one, math lovers, or just those that appreciate the beauty of pi. Anyhow, I want to talk about my #1 raw food diet tip today. What could that be? I do videos every day, so if you haven't already done it, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button now and then click on that little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. This one kind of popped up into my head last night and I started working on some thoughts about this. It kind of happens to me in other areas of life, so I thought I would share this today. My #1 tip is to take responsibility for this lifestyle. You be the captain of the ship. I see too many people out there that are just kind of being led around by the nose. All they do is ask questions and just, hang, waiting on every word of either a particular person or even worse, just to a scattered assortment of people. I've mentioned this over and over. Probably the most useless method. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying don't interact out there. I'm not saying Facebook groups are not useful for a lot of things. I mean, even as long as I've been doing this, I still pick a lot of stuff up from time to time. But what I'm saying is there's certain things you need to know when to be proactive. You need to know what to take into your own hands and take responsibility. That's another thing too about just like being in control. Too many people are not relying on themselves. They're relying on other people completely. They just put their health. What we're putting into our body is very important and you should be an active part of that process. You can't just like, hey, what do I do? What do I do? Oh, I know what I was going to say. Once again, I've said this. When people just go on Facebook, I'm just like, wow. I mean, it's not like it bothers me because it doesn't do anything to me. But when people go on there and they just ask a general question like, hey, I've got so-and-so. What does everybody think I should do? Or, hey, I want to eat this. What does everybody think? And then on all the little blip, 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 you might have 100 responses depending on how mainstream or popular a topic is. So now that person has to go down. They didn't know really what they were doing in the first place. Now they're going down wading through a whole bunch of, and some of the stuff, it's anywhere along the line. There's some actual knowledge in there. There's some tidbits. There's some nuggets in there. But you have to dig and know what's what, because there'll be the woo-woo stuff. Somebody will say, oh, just eat a grape and meditate a little while and blah, blah, blah. Then there'll be advice this way. There'll be people that say this. There'll be people that say something totally contradictory. It's noise. It's noise. I like to block out all the noise, all the chatter, all the confusion. I like to just hone in on whatever it is I'm studying, trying to learn or know or understand better. So be proactive, be in control, take responsibility. That's the second part of it. If you are going to just totally hang on the words of everybody out there and listen to what other people say, you should never blame anybody if something goes wrong. I know that might be an unpopular stance because people are always like, I even see videos a lot like, well, this is a dangerous message so-and-so is putting out there. I'm like, survival of the fittest. Let's just let the highest, I mean, if you just blindly follow anybody, well, you get what you get. I'm sorry. That might sound harsh, but if you just blindly follow somebody, you take your responsibility and you give it away to somebody else. And you don't put anything into it, and then something goes wrong. If you get sick, God forbid, or you have health issues after eating a certain way, if you gain 20 pounds, you've got nobody to blame. You should never go after that YouTuber. You should never go after that person that wrote the diet book. You should never go after that person that gave you bad information, because in the end, you're the gatekeeper of all that information coming in. And that's a big part of what you have to learn and what you have to hone on this diet, on this lifestyle, if you really want to go to a next level of health and wellness, is you have to start developing those filters and being able to hone. And all this information that's coming in, you have to be able to sift through it and get rid of what's not useful. Now, what I would say is that when I'm saying that, don't make other people responsible, but I'm not saying don't listen to anybody else. You know, don't watch YouTube videos, don't interact, but listen to everyone, but follow no one. Don't be a follower. All this stuff, even like on certain platforms, I forget, is it, I can't remember from time to time. I think you have followers. You have followers on Instagram, you have followers on Twitter, you have I don't like that word followers, because I listen to people. I'm not hard-headed. I don't think I know everything, but I'm not a follower. I'm not a follower. I've never been. Maybe I got too much alpha in me. I won't necessarily say I'm a leader, but kind of that independent thought person. I've always kind of had to figure things out for myself. But once again, not being stubborn, using the information out there, taking it in, putting it through my filters and figuring out what makes sense and what works for me. But a lot of times, like I say, just go to your quiet place. People are, God, so many people are just constantly spinning like, well, this person said this person said that. If all that stuff is upsetting you or confusing you, tune it all out. And just, you know, just study this thing on your own, and then go go jump into those arenas when you want to find something out. Like I say, once again, I'm not trying to discourage you where you're going. I'm just saying you're the person in control. It all rests on you. So don't be, you know, think about it like that. Let me ask you this. Do you do the same thing with your finances? Do you just willy-nilly, and I know a lot of people do, you just go to a broker or a financial advisor and just blindly, no matter what they say, no matter what they tell you the market is doing, do you just put your money, your hard-earned money, in the hands of people without doing some research on your own, without knowing what you're doing, without knowing what you're putting your money into? Well, this is more important than our money. This is without this, nothing else is gonna go. You know, once that heart starts ticking and they put us in the ground, game over. Understand the why. Why are you doing this lifestyle? Understanding the how. The how is, you can figure out the how yourself too, but like, you know, once again, cut out all that clutter and all that noise and just have a method, have a way of doing this, have a rational way of doing this. Get a few books. Find some, I'll finish up, I'll follow up on that video the other day where I was talking about the various people I would read just to get started. Read the China Studies, the gateway drug. Read it, understand why you're doing this, understand all those experiments he was doing, how actually what leads to cancer, what leads to those tumors, how we could stop the tumors once we have them. Then you can get more into the science of it, the Brenda Davises, the Dr. Gregors, 80-10-10. But you could buy yourself, and somebody will say, well, I don't have money. Well, if you don't have money to do anything, well, then it's an irrelevant conversation. Then you just have to do whatever you have to do. Get those resources online. All these people that have books, whether it is the China Study or 80-10-10 or Brenda Davis or any number of the wonderful books I can think of. There's excerpts of them online. There's talks of them on YouTube. Most everything, books are convenient. In this internet era, all the information is out there, so you can get all the information from the China Study. You can get all the information from 80-10-10 or any of them, but you get yourself 5 or 6 good books, and you can start tearing this lifestyle apart and figuring it out for yourself. And you actively get involved in the trial and error. But I guess what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stop right now instead of doing a rambling video like I normally do, self-sufficiency. Be more self-sufficient. Stop putting your well-being, your money, whatever, in the hands of other people. Take control over more aspects of your life. It may not be just this. I hope maybe this message can extend to other areas of your life, because people are just not as self-sufficient as we used to be 100, 200, 3,000 years ago. We took care of ourselves. We didn't have a specialty occupation for everything that we have going on in our life out there. We didn't need to go outside ourselves so much, you know. We figured it out. We kept it simple. And you can do this with this lifestyle. And that's all I'll finish with right there. Don't try to complicate it. Try to find the simplest version of it and just move forward. Move forward. You'll get there, but you don't need other people to really do this lifestyle. Other people are helpful in certain circumstances, and it's really nice to have support, and it's nice to have people that we can talk to. But as far as the nuts and the bolts, this is 2018 with this huge database of stuff out there called the internet. You can figure it out on your own, and you don't need a guru. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.